packaging expert located in the Mitchell Street Plaza near Radio Shack. Silver Dollar Business Solutions. Increase your business's bottom line with value-added electronic payment services. Northern Michigan Artist Market. With art in all media by over 90 local Northern Michigan artists. From Traverse City to the top of the Upper Peninsula at 445 East Mitchell Street next to the old library in Petoskey's historic Gaslight District. And special thanks to WJML Radio, News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210, and worldwide on WJML.com. Well, hello, everybody. This is Marty Scott here at Traverse City West, along with Caitlin Crittenton and Jason Bassett, getting ready for our big varsity basketball game tonight between the Petoskey Northmen and the TC West Titans. The Northmen now sitting in first place in the Big North Conference with an 8-1 conference record, 14-2 overall, and 11 straight wins. Clearly the hottest team right now in the Big North Conference. The Traverse City West Titans are in third place in the conference now, 6-2 in conference record, 6-9 overall with one straight win right now is their streak. So an important game. These two teams, despite how different their record sounds, the Titans are only one loss behind the Northmen, and they're in that. Did
Cadillac lose to someone? Why are we still tied?
We are tied with Cadillac in losses. Okay, we are 8-1. Cadillac is 7-1, so they're a half game behind us with one loss, and Traverse City is only one loss behind them, 6-2.
We just played one more game than they.
That's right.
Okay, so I was a little confused. I'm like, we're not. How did we get in first? Who'd they lose to? But.
No, but we are in first because we have won one more game. But somewhere along the line, that's got to get all made up, and we're only one game ahead of them in the loss column. Let's see, tonight we are playing at West. Traverse City Central is at Ogma Heights, and Cadillac doesn't play until next week. So we'll have to see how all that goes. This is this is a big game. This is if it's important for Traverse City West. They can't afford to lose anymore and stay in contention in the conference, with only, 2 conference games left for us, at least, in the rest of the season. And on the other hand, if they win, they're right in the mix with us and Cadillac. So, important game here in Traverse City.
Which they won't win, but...
well, we certainly hope not. It's interesting, we played our last game against Sheboygan, non-conference game that, of course, we don't broadcast those, but we won there 47-16. And 16 points is the fewest points we've allowed all season. So that was pretty good for us. But who do you think the second fewest points we ever allowed?
Ogma Heights?
No, second fewest points we ever allowed was to Traverse City West when they were in Petoskey, and we beat them 35-17.
Well, I didn't add up the points, but I was looking to see who scored last game, and we had 3 girls that scored last game, and between 1 or 4, it was 5, 4, 6, and 2 were the amount of points for 4 people scoring, and that's.
Yeah, that adds up to that adds up to 16. There's one more point they got somewhere along the line.
Oh.
And so 35-17 last time we played them. That was January 18th. And in the last couple weeks, last week Cadillac, Traverse City West lost to Cadillac 41-30, and then they beat Alpena this week on Monday 38-28. So, by the records and everything, it looks like, if we can do anything like we did last time we played them, this should be a fairly easy game for the Northmen. On the other hand, it's a game that means a lot to the Titans.
It means a lot to the Titans, and they're also on their home court. Usually we've had good games here throughout basketball career the last 4 or 5 years. We've had a couple bad games here, so it can go either way. It's sometimes hard to come to Traverse City because it's so close compared to the other ones, and you kind of want to get home because you're like, oh, I can get home at a good time. But I think tonight we're going to see a great game by the Northmen. They know who to stop, they know who the ball's going to, and just having our defense against their offense. And I think Traverse City West, we're going to see a new side of them. It was the beginning of the season the first time we played them. They have a new coach this year. They lost a lot of girls last year. So, you know, it's kind of like our season last year, getting a new coach, losing some good players, and adjusting to the new role. So I think we're going to see a better team of Traverse City West. I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to be much better.
Right. Well, we played them January 18th, so that was sort of in the second half of the season because we had that snow delay with them. But it still was, you know, it was several weeks ago, and they've had a lot of time since then. We got to look this week at the stat sheet for the conference. They haven't gotten that out the last couple of weeks, but they got it out this week. And the Titans have 2 players in the top 20 in scoring in the conference. Katie Plasek is number 6 with 74 total points in conference play so far this year. And Emily Thomas is number 19, tied with 2 other people for 35 points, 35 total points in conference play so far this season. But right at the top of the list are 2 of our favorite players. Kelsey Ant's number 1 in the conference with 142 points. That's as of Monday, or as of the end of last week. And number 2 is Megan Tompkins with 118 total points in conference play this year. And not only that, of the top 20, we've got 3 more. So we've got 5.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm like looking for the other girls because I know, you know, they have number 19. They have a spot, but you know we have the top 2 spots, let alone 3 other girls. Right,
they got number 6 and number 19. I already mentioned Kelsey and Megan. We also have number 8, Alyssa Van Worden, who's got 61 total points in conference play so far. And number 16, in a tie with 1 other player, Liz Fraser, who has 37 total conference points. And also Katie Lewis in number 19, tied with a couple of other players. She's got 35 total points. So that's comparing them with everybody on all 7 teams in the Big North Conference. We've got 5 out of the top 20 and 2 out of the top 2.
We have 25%.
There you
know,
go.
that's crazy to think about, you know, how advanced our team is. We have 25% of the top 20 girls on our Petoskey's team, and I don't think any other team has those numbers.
No, nobody else is anywhere near that. And there's some other interesting statistics on this sheet, too. You know, in conference play, the Petoskey Northmen are first in scoring overall, which makes sense given all those leading scorers. We've got 50 points per game on the average in conference play. And second is, not a big surprise, Cadillac with 42.9. And then you look at the other side of the ledger, the points against, and we're first in that too. We've only given up 30.1 points per game in conference play so far this year, and that puts us in first place too. So that's the statistical picture. We'll be back in a few minutes. We can take a look at what to expect out of this Traverse City West Titans team tonight on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Hydration isn't something athletes do just during a practice or game. Good hydration takes place before practices and games as well. You can learn more about good hydration and heat acclimation by visiting the MHSAA website, clicking on Education, and checking out the various resources, including a free online course offered by the National Federation. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Hey, I'm Kristen.
The best mobile pet beautician around. I'm Robert.
The owner of the UPS store in my neighborhood. I get all kinds of pet products delivered all the time. And since my van is my office,
her business needed a real street address.
So I got a mailbox at the UPS store. Now I never miss a delivery because Robert can sign
for all Kristen's packages and send out a text or email when they arrive. Kristen loves being in business on her own.
But with Robert's help, I don't feel like I'm alone.
And running around in circles.
Are you a
mind reader?
Wow.
To learn about mailbox services at the UPS store and to find a locally owned center near you, visit theupsstore.com. We love small businesses. We love logistics.
Your Petoskey UPS store is your certified packing experts. Locally owned and operated and located in the Mitchell Street Plaza near Radio Shack. Mention that you heard this ad and you'll get a 10% discount on in-store custom packaging.
Bob, what was that?
Hey, that was our old computer.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was old and slow, and I was getting frustrated waiting for it. I just got to go out and buy a new one, I guess.
That was a waste. Silver Dollar Business Solution makes your computers fast again. For pennies on the dollar compared to what a new computer costs, you don't even have to pack it up. They'll come to you.
If your computer is slow, unreliable, or just plain broken, call Silver Dollar Business Solutions for affordable on-site repair, tuning, and upgrades. Silver Dollar Business Solutions can resolve most problems in one convenient appointment and works for 100% customer satisfaction. Call 231-758-2851 to make your appointment. Mention this ad and get 20% off your first visit.
I guess that dynamite wasn't such a good idea after all.
231-758-2851. Silver Dollar brings value to you.
Well, welcome back to Traverse City. Marty Scott here, along with Caitlin Crittenden and Jason Bassett. The junior varsity game just ended a couple of minutes ago, and the Traverse City West Titans won that game 27-17. So our junior varsity coming along. They had a couple of really nice wins, and there was some good play out there tonight. Unfortunately, they ended up on the lower end of the scoring, but we're looking forward to a big. These are two tough defensive teams, but the Northmen have been showing a lot of offense in the last several games too.
Traverse City West has always been known going hard to the boards, and they get most of their points off rebounds and box. They're always good at boxing out, offensive boards, get the layup easily, but we've been doing well at that too. We have some big girls down there that are ready, to fight for a spot, and that's kind of, the difference between our teams right now. We have offense and they have a couple players.
Well, and it's been really something watching the development of the inside game for the Northmen, both on the offensive and the defensive end of the court, with Megan Tompkins, but also Kelsey Ants,
Alyssa Van Word
finding inside, right? Just so anybody gets into the paint in our when we're on defense, they got three people on them right away. And on the other end, when we get into the paint, watching the difference between Kelsey Ants of last year and Kelsey Ants of this year. Last year she attracted a crowd too, but she'd usually just crash into it. This year she's finding a way through that crowd, getting in for a lot of open layups, and when she can't, she's passing off really nicely.
It's like Kelsey Ants had like a plastic surgeon for basketball. She is completely different. I know that sounds weird, but I just think of it like someone going into plastic surgery and look completely different, like Michael Jackson.
Okay,
I know this is a little analogy, a little weird, but it's just to spice up our show.
Okay.
And now, from last year to this year, it's just completely different person on the court. And, is a great team player, does everything so nicely. The flow of her game, the way she finds people, the way she pushes up the court is totally different from the past years.
And I think the biggest difference is the way she operates inside the paint. The way last year, like I said, she's got, she'll run into three people and she'll either run into them and foul, or on a better night she'll pass off. But this year, she's like, it doesn't matter how many people are in front of her.
No,
she goes all the way to the hoop, gets through the crowd, and puts the ball in.
She finds somehow that open space, which you don't think there is any. And last year it was more of her demanding that open space, and this year it's all about her finding it and using it.
Yeah, playing a great game inside, letting the game come to her too. I mean, she hasn't gotten these what did I say? It was 142 points by dominating the game, and she does dominate the game, but it's not by being a ball hog or anything. That play comes to her when she gets those points. Now, let's take a look at the Traverse City side of this. They have the number 6 scorer in the conference, and very active player for a sophomore, Katie Plasek. Now, that's her sister that played, or cousin or somebody who played on the team last year, right?
No,
it was her?
That was her.
Okay, so she played as a freshman last year.
She played as a freshman, and I talked really high of her last time we watched them, but she, I think, is the most athletic girl in the BNC, even out of Megan and Kelsey. Megan and Kelsey are very good at their job, but her athleticism, for her size, for how small she is, she posts up on someone like Kelsey, and she has these nice moves. We have, strong defenders to guard her, but being a sophomore on varsity, in every single sport she plays, her athletic ability just amazes me.
And what other sports does she play?
She plays soccer and volleyball, and I know she played freshman year. I remember playing against her in volleyball, or at least I watched her because I sat the bench. But I remember just being like, who is this girl? She can jump probably higher than Megan. It's just Megan has height over her. So, Katie Plasek is a great basketball player along with every other sport she plays, and you can't underestimate her. Last game, I think we held her to 5 points, so that was great defense. This is, their offense, they're going to want to go to Katie, and it's not someone that they only set up to, but Katie finds those rebounds and puts them back up. So you really just need to make sure you keep her out of the paint, box her out. She's not afraid to shoot from the inside or outside. I think that's the biggest threat tonight, along with Wagner.
And, of course, the other person that they have that's been scoring a lot around the conference, number 19 in the conference, is Emily Thomas, who's a senior. So she did play on the team when you played against them, I think. And
I don't remember her. I just remember I had to guard Plasek. But
well, she's got only half the number of points that Plasek has so far, but that's enough to make her number, 19 in the conference. So they've got other people who can score, but I agree that Plasek is that's the person they need to deliver tonight if they're going to be able to pull this off.
If you can stop Plasek and make sure you're stopping Plasek and just taking care of the things you control, like boxing out, not letting them have a second opportunity to shoot on offense. This game should just end up like last game.
All right, well, clock's starting to run down here, getting close to the start of the game. There's a turning around here. There's a lot of fans in the seats behind us, and we heard a lot of yelling during the JV game, so we know there's a lot of Petoskey fans here. And we'll be right back to get you into the beginning of this game here on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm an unwinder. I'm about to go unwind for 4 days at a spa. The last thing I want to do is deal with my luggage, so I'm going to leave it up to logistics.
Unwinders love logistics. With our luggage services, just drop your luggage off at the UPS store, and your bags will be sent right to your destination. No waiting in line to check bags, no waiting at baggage claim. All you have to do is unwind. To find a location near you, visit theupsstore.com. The UPS store locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours vary by location.
The Continental Inn of Sheboygan is conveniently located on Main Street in downtown Sheboygan. Within walking distance of the beach, shopping, and restaurants, the Continental Inn offers spacious rooms with cable television, high-speed internet, and all the comforts of home. Enjoy the heated outdoor pool and start your day off right with a delicious continental breakfast every day. And at the Continental Inn, your well-mannered pets are always welcome. Book your stay on the web at continentalinn.biz.
They officiate because they love the game that gave so much to them, and they want to give back to it. They officiate because they believe that the mission of high school sports is to help educate kids. They'd like you to join their ranks, so why don't you? To become a registered high school game official, call or click the Michigan High School Athletic Association. A message from the MHSAA, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Welcome back, and we got one more email to tell you about. Thanks everybody for writing in. By the way, you can write us at marty@wjml.com with any questions or comments about the broadcast.
This isn't like your family writing in, or not my family.
None of these people are relatives of mine, and as hard as it is to believe, none of them are relatives of Kaylin.
Okay.
And so there are some people who aren't related to us who are listening, and some of them have good questions. And this time, Patty wrote in to say that she wanted to know on a particular night if there was any game being aired on the radio. How can I know when a home game is going to be broadcast? I don't see any word of it on the radio station's website or on the high school's website. No broadcast schedule. Well, actually, it is possible to find out. First, we broadcast all of the Petoskey girls varsity conference and playoff basketball games. And there's 3 remaining conference games tonight and then 2 more. And next Friday, we're home against Ogama Heights, and that's right after the 5:30.
And that's a pink game. They're doing a big benefit for breast cancer, so if you could make it out to that game and help contribute to that great cause, that'd be great.
Right, and it also has an early start because it's a boys-girls doubleheader as well. And then the next one is Friday the 22nd at home against Alpena for the final game of the season, and we'll be on the air for that right after the 7 o'clock news. And generally speaking, the playoffs start right after that on March 25th with a home game against Marquette. We'll talk about the playoffs a little later on tonight. But again, after the 5:30.
February 25th or March 25th?
March 25th. It says March 25th on here, but I'm sure it's February 25th. Can't be March 25th. Anyway, all the games are announced in the Petoskey News Review, and you can hear our promotions for them on WJML on the radio. But basically, every conference and playoff game, we do cover it, and we welcome you to come listen to us on the radio or on WJML.com. And now, before we run out of time in the pregame, let's get to the most important feature of what we do in the pregame, which is now we decided to call it Fashion and Passion with Kaylin Critton. Kaylin, go ahead.
Right now for the fashion segment, both teams are looking very similar. It's kind of funny because Traverse City Central has the same warm-up as we do, exact same style, the long sleeves with like the white part on their shoulder, just different logos. Our color is better, green and yellow. I used to be green and yellow when I was in, and that's just, it's not a cool color, The blue, green can be many different colors of gross things, and blue's the color of the ocean and the lovely sky and the lakes, and that little baby blue coming off. I see a girl with looks like a knee brace for like an ACL, and it has a nice pink thing on it. That's kind of cool. I'll give her that. But the one thing I don't like, I don't know what number she is, but there's a girl kind of wearing like black and purple or black and blue socks with white shoes, and it's just not working. It doesn't look nice. So, but other than that,
but they got nice long shorts on.
They have nice,
They're not rolled up or anything.
No, they're nice. I like. I wish we were wearing white, but I like their uniforms. Like I said, they look very similar to us.
All right, and if you want to see us wearing white, come to a home game.
Yes. The next game will be Ogama Heights.
Next game will be Ogama Heights at home.
So then we get to wear white and pink, and that's a fun game.
There you go.
So.
All right, and the passion?
And the passion, I think Traverse City, both teams have a lot of passion right now, but I think we're just going to build off our confidence. We beat them by a lot last game, and I don't think they have any doubt in their mind. And I think Traverse City, it's hard. You figure the passion part out the first 2 minutes of the game. So.
All right. Well, speaking of passion, we have a little passion for our country coming up here. We get ready to have the national anthem. So we're going to rise right there. We'll turn up the speaker so you can listen to it along with us.
For the ramparts we
Too bad all of you aren't out here tonight, because you could have seen our musical director, Jason, out there at center court lip-syncing the national anthem. I don't think he fooled anybody, but and I don't think there's going to be any congressional investigation about Jason's lip-syncing, but it was fun to see him out there having a good time. All right, now we're getting ready for the starting lineups as they're being announced on the floor, and we'll turn it over to Caitlin to announce them to you.
For the Northmen at center, we have Megan Tompkins, guard Liz Frazier, forward Kelsey Ants, forward Katie Lewis, and point guard Alyssa Van Worden. For the Titans, we have Jessica Caldflesh at guard, Katie Placek at forward, Lauren Ellison at center, Kimmy Belinsky at guard, and Abby Fashball at forward.
Okay, pretty much the same starting lineup they had when we played them last time, and they're out on the floor and getting ready to get started. Any final thoughts about tonight's game? What's going to let you know early on how this is going to go?
It's going to be about running the court and rebounding. This team is huge about rebounds and putting it back up, so it's really going to be up to the Northmen to keep them out of the paint, box them out, you know, make it their zone from the get-go. If they can't do that, then this game's going to be a lot more difficult.
All right, well, pretty soon we'll be able to see how that comes to pass. So I'm going to be looking for the Northman defense. I've been watching the offense a lot. They've been scoring and making great moves underneath, but I'm looking for the height of the Northman team inside the paint to keep the scoring low on the part of Traverse City West. As I said, last time we played them, we held them to 17, which was our second lowest point total, lowest until this week when we held Sheboygan to only 16. To be able to do that again twice this year and to do it on the Traverse City West home court, it's going to be kind of tough to do, but it'll be interesting to see how that how this plays out tonight. And the team's going out on the floor, and we get to see the whatever it is, must be the
jump ball
16th rendition of Megan Tompkins'
like
jump
I said,
ball.
if she was going to lose to someone, it would be this girl. You could see that her hand was right up there.
Well, she didn't, so 16 in a row for Megan. And Kelsey Ants with the ball up in the forecourt over to the left-hand side, thrown up by Lewis. She misses, and the rebound comes down to Traverse City West. Coming up the court, it's Caldflesh back out on top. On the floor now, picked up by Placek, and back out on top to Belinsky. Now they're in the free throw circle, back out on top. Nobody penetrating inside, and not a lot of movement either at this point early in the game on behalf of the Titans. Now the ball comes nicely inside underneath the basket, gets around Megan Tompkins, and that was Kimmy Belinsky. Her shot misses, though, as she puts the layup up, and the Northman with the ball. Van Worden bringing the ball up the court, stops at the three-point arc, and passes it over to the right-hand side to Lewis. Lewis inside to Ants. Ants' shot is blocked and picked off by the Titans. So no score yet. We've got about a minute gone here in the first quarter of tonight's game. Pass inside. Can't do anything with it, so they bring it out. Then they get it to the baseline, and putting it up on the baseline is Lauren Ellison. Gets the first points of the game, 2-0 now for Traverse City. Van Worden on the outside over to Tompkins for the Northmen. Tompkins on the right, passes to the left to Fraser. Fraser still way outside, looking around, moves the ball over to the right, picks up a screen from Tompkins, gets the ball back to her, but she's way out of the top of the three-point arc. Passes it over to the left-hand side to Lewis. And to Ants at the top of the key. Ants pops from out there just inside the three-point arc. Her shot misses, falls to the floor. And it is picked up by Abby Fashbaugh. 2-0 Titans as they bring the ball up the court. Out at the top now, over to the left-hand side and back out on top to Caldflesh. Over to the right to Belinsky. Now they get it in the circle. They pass it underneath, which is knocked away by Van Worden off the hands of one of the Titan players. And Alyssa's going to bring the ball in for the Northland.
This is definitely a new Titan team that we didn't see at the beginning of the year. They're playing excellent defense. I think, you know, they're doing their regular screening across court, but the person that's screening needs to roll, and the person needs to look up because Megan was wide open a couple times.
All right, Northman with the ball in the forecourt. Inside to Tompkins. She passes it out to Van Worden. Van Worden across the court and then back down in the corner to Ants. Back out on top to Fraser and over to the right-hand side to Lewis. Lewis inside to Ants. Ants tries to shovel it to Tompkins, but it's batted away. But a foul called on Ellison.
No, Kimmy Walensky.
Walensky.
That's her team's first of this half. We're taking the ball out of bounds, Katie Lewis.
First stoppage, first foul on anybody yet so far. Lewis passed the ball into Tompkins at the top of the key. Tompkins to Van Worden as she brings it across the top over on the right-hand side. Ball slips out through Kelsey's hands and out of bounds and turned over to the Titans. Traverse City with an early 2-0 lead, 5:12 remaining in the first quarter. Ball up the court now for the Titans. Out on top, it's Kaufleisch. Back out to Belinsky. Belinsky over to the left-hand side to Fashball. They get it in. They get it to the left side again to Kaufleisch in the middle, but it slips through everybody and goes out of bounds. And I think it's going to be Traverse City ball as they go out of bounds to get it. 4:52 remaining in the first quarter. Pass comes in and shot to the pass to the inside. Going up with the ball is Plasek, but she's pretty heavily guarded and shot misses. And now Van Worden brings the ball up in the forecourt all the way to the free throw line where she passes it to Ants, who drives in and puts the ball in for the first points for the Northmen tonight. 2-2 now with 4:32 remaining in the first quarter. Good to see Kelsey get started.
Just get the ball moving for the Northmen, realizing, I think all of them are capable of driving on this team. It's just they feel so closely guarded.
Fashball on the left side being closely guarded by Tompkins. They get the ball back outside to Kaufleisch. Now it's over to Belinsky. Down to the right side and back out on top now to Kaufleisch. She drives down the middle of the lane, runs into Ants, and has to pass the ball off to the side. They drive down to the middle, can't get anywhere going, so they bring it back out on top. Over on the right-hand side now to Plasek, and she gets it back out on top to Belinsky. Whistle blows as there's some contact out on top.
Fouls on Katie Lewis. That's her team first of this half.
A long way away from the basket with the player moving away from the basket. Probably not the play she wanted to make, but the ball comes in anyways for the Titans. Plasek gets it, drives towards the baseline. Her shot up and missed, rebounded by Ants, who gets it up quickly to Lewis. Lewis all the way to the baseline, passes it back to Ants, who drives in the middle, gets through the first line of defense, but the second wave comes and gets her, and ball gets away over to the player with the pink leg brace, who is Kaufleisch. We're going back to our fashion and passion segment. Out on top now, and that's Fashball over on the right-hand side. Down on side to Kaufleisch and back out on top. And Ant steals the pass away. She's coming down the left-hand side of the court, dribbles behind her back, gets underneath, and unfettered puts the ball in the basket. Great shot. So 4 points for Kelsey Ants tonight, 4 points for the Northmen. 4-2, 2:59 remaining in the first quarter. And a nice play by Lewis as she bats the ball away on a pass at the top of the key, takes it down and makes the layup. And a timeout being called by Dave Ginsburg for the Titans. After they were pretty well in control for a while, things started to get out of hand, so they're going to stop and talk about it.
This is where we're going to get our points, this first half. And West is playing great defense right now. They're not letting, trying to guard Kelsey really closely. And great job by Katie Lewis. She was definitely playing off the passing lane, anticipating that pass. They've been, kind of stopping a little bit after they get across half court to get that pass. So a way on her part, and Kelsey's nice 2 breaks to the basket to finish strongly like that. That's what we need right now.
And that was a great opportunity on a turnover to get the ball
It looks
out.
like Plasek went out, and I feel like she's trying to force a lot. I feel like she feels a lot of pressure during this game and trying to score so badly, but nothing is falling because of our great defense down in the paint. So we got to keep that up.
Action back alive again, and the Titans with the ball. And out in front, it is Belinsky, gets over to the right-hand side now, dribbling down and into as far as the baseline was Kaufleisch, but unable to get it inside. It goes out of bounds, and the Northmen are going to bring it in. Underneath the basket is Kelsey Ants. Emily Thomas comes in for the Titans. And now Ants brings the ball into Van Worden. Petoskey up 6-2 with 2:25 remaining in the first quarter. Van Worden across the timeline and inside to Fraser. Now to Ants in the middle, underneath to Tompkins.
Ooh.
She puts it up, but there's contact. Her shot actually got blocked by the Titans, and they get the ball.
I would either call that a jump ball or a foul. Definitely not a block.
And now going around the perimeter there, the Titans. Ball's in the hands of Emily Thomas. The shot now is blocked by Ants, but it comes back out to the top to the Titans. Fastball with it across the top to Belinsky. Belinsky looking over her offense, holds on to the ball, now gets it inside to Fastball. Over on the left now to Thomas, and back out on top as they reset. Players crisscrossing underneath the basket. Ball goes over to the right-hand side along the baseline. That underneath there is Ellison, and ball back outside on top now as nothing's doing in there. Tompkins playing defense outside, knocks the ball away, comes all the way out to the top. Hannah Skolton's in there playing out front for the Northmen. She comes out and guards Belinsky with it way out at almost all the way out to the timeline. Ball down into the right-hand side now. Really no ability to get the ball inside right now as the Northland defense is playing sharp. Contact there between Megan Tompkins and getting up off the floor is Kimmy Belinsky.
That's Megan's first of this half, team second of this half. You know, right now they're really trying to pull Megan up, like you've been saying. Who is she guarding? Abby Flashball, she's guarding, and now she's on, I believe, Wagner, but they're trying to get her outside so they open up that middle.
Lewis and Stinger just in for the Northland. Titans with the ball out on top. They get it to Kalbfleisch on the outside and over to Thomas. Thomas passes it down into the corner. That is Wagner with the ball in there and back out on top. Kalbfleisch across the top, controlling the ball out as the main guard in the offense. Emily Thomas now down to the baseline and back out on top to Kreppel. Kreppel tries to get inside. Her pass is cut off by Tompkins, so she turns around and brings the ball back outside. Over to the right-hand side now and back out on top.
This play that they're running. Oh, they finally just took a shot.
Yep.
But it's like if they were trying to stall a basketball game, you know, because they're up by so much.
But nobody could get the ball inside, which is what they were trying to do. They took the three outside and missed it. And Ants shooting as the time runs out. Her shot goes wide, but it brings us to the end of a very low-scoring first quarter. Strong defense on both sides as the Northmen lead at the end of one 6-2. And we'll be right back with the second quarter on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Nestled in the woods across from the Pellston Regional Airport, the Pellston Lodge is halfway between Mackinac City and Petoskey and close to all the great things about northern Michigan. Enjoy first-class accommodations, a dip in the pool after your long day, and wireless internet throughout the hotel. A delicious morning continental breakfast awaits you before a day of activity. Winter ski packages are also available from Nubs Knob Ski Resort, so make your next stay at the Pellston Lodge in Pellston on the web at pellstonlodge.com.
As we get ready to start the second quarter, the team's still at their benches. The officials out on the floor trying to get everybody back out there. We had a pretty defensive struggle in the first quarter tonight.
On both teams, we are playing such great defense. Like I said, the last play they were running, it was just, you know, pass and screen, pass and screen. They couldn't get a shot. They got one shot off probably the 2 minutes they ran it. It was just like a play that you'd think they would do to run down the clock. So hopefully we can run more of our offense.
Northwood start quarter two with Skolton and Stinger and the rest of the starters in. Titans with the ball starting off on offense, and it's Kreppel on the left-hand side back out on top to Thomas. Thomas over the right-hand side to Wagner. Wagner's a big girl.
Oh, yeah.
Now back out on top over the left-hand side. And shooting off the rim to Ants. Ants leading everybody off the court. Behind her back, gets through a couple of defenders, puts the ball up. There's contact underneath the basket. So it looks like Kelsey's going to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
It wasn't behind the back. It was through the legs. Foul was on Kelsey Bojalis. That's her first, team second of this half. It just amazes me with those moves, just how the ball does not get tied up.
And it's 3 points for Kelsey Ansa. She puts the free throw in, and now 9-2 for the Northmen. Titans with the ball at half court, and that is Emily Thomas out there. Over the right-hand side, almost stolen by Lewis, but the Titans get the ball into the baseline. Closely guarded there by Megan Tompkins, so nothing doing. They pass it back out, and now all the way back out to the top. That's Thomas with it out there, over back out on top now to Kreppel, and trying to find a way still to penetrate the Petoskey defense. Ball out on top. And they're looking around, and that is Kalbfleisch with it. Gives it to Kreppel into the baseline. Then they pass it to the free throw line to Wagner. She's got a nice open shot from there, but she misses. And Skolten bringing the ball up for the Northmen. Over to Ants on the left-hand side, back to Skolten out on top. Skolten looks around, finds a Stinger on the right-hand side. Inside now to Ants and back out to Skolten. She shoots a three, and it's off the rim. And saved inbounds, almost inbounds by the Titans, but they're standing on the line, so it's going to the Northmen out of bounds.
We have some subs coming in. I'm surprised a little bit. We have Asia Tallman, Alyssa Van Worden, Liz Frazier, Kelsey Anson, Katie Lewis out there. They've been all playing really well. It's 9-2, but we haven't been able to run our offense. All our points have been from fast breaks.
Ball comes in from the baseline to Kelsey Ants out on top, and her dribble stolen by Plasek, the athletic star of this team and of Titan girls athletics really throughout all the sports. They get the ball up the court, and it's out of bounds now.
No, it was a jump ball. Titans have the ball right now.
Throwing the ball in from the baseline. That's Kreppel with the ball. They get it in, out on top now to Thomas, down to the baseline, and Kreppel tries to put it up, but she's fouled. She's going to the line now.
Fouls on Kelsey Ants. That's her first, team's third of this half.
Not Kelsey's third.
No, okay. Kelsey's first, team's third of this half.
All right. So at the line, Kylie Kreppel. Trailing 9-2, and this shot misses, so Northmen maintain their 7-point lead. 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
West has been running their offense very well. They've been moving. It's nonstop. They just can't get that open shot, and Kreppel made her second shot. If we moved our offense as well as they do, we would have that open shot, and I think the Northmen need to realize that. There's a lot of standing.
Van Worden with the ball out on top now. And it's Abram Craig flashing it inside, but doesn't get the pass. Now the ball goes to Lewis over on the right side to Ants now. Back to Lewis. Lewis tries to drive the lane. She's cut off, pulls it back out. Gets a screen now, and then passes it over to Van Worden on the right-hand side. Inside to a cutting Fraser. Ball's knocked out of her hands as she puts it up, and it's recovered by the Titans, bringing the ball up the floor, Kimmy Belinsky. Northmen leading 9-3, 5:22 remaining. Nice shot from the outside by Kylie Kreppel, but it's off the rim. Back out on top now as they get the rebound. Belinsky now drives down the left-hand side, passes it off to Kreppel. Kreppel back out on top to Belinsky. Over the right-hand side now to Plasek. And Plasek passes it out and comes all the way back out on top again. As the Titans looking for a way to get the ball inside, they try to drive, but they're cut off. Another try at driving, this time by Belinsky. Put a shot up from the outside. That's off the rim. Kelsey Ants with the rebound. She's against only two players. Shouldn't be trouble, but she shoots it over the misses. Rebounded off the board. And jump ball. And possession arrow goes to Petoskey, I believe.
We have Megan Tompkins and Jamie Larson coming in the game. Megan's coming in for Kelsey, and Jamie Larson coming in for Asia Tallman. Petoskey's taking it out of bounds right now. We have Katie Lewis. They're set up for four down right now.
Brings it in quickly to Tompkins in the middle. She puts the shot up, rebounded, goes to Traverse City. West brings the ball up the court now. And that is Kylie Kreppel with the ball in her hands as she gets to the top of the arc. Pass it over the right-hand side to Kalflesh. Kalflesh tries to drive down the middle, gets about halfway in, knocked away from her, and picked up off the floor by Larson. Gives it to Van Worden, and the Northmen start their attack. Van Worden on the left-hand side to Lewis. And to Van Worden outside at the free throw line, puts one in.
It was funny to look at because there's 3 people standing behind Megan Tompkins. She should have just bounced past it and go backside. Liz Frazier was there, but nice job by Alyssa Van Worden for making that shot.
11-3 Northman. And a layup by Belinsky for West, but off the glass, and bringing it up the court is Lewis for the Northmen. Pass to Van Worden, back out on top to Lewis. She shoots from a 3 and misses, but it's rebounded by Van Worden, by Larson, who missed the shot, and ball's picked up by the Titans. Titans with the ball on the outside now. Belinsky on the left gets it over to Kalflesh. Back out on top to Keppel. Driving in the lane now. They put the ball up, and a foul on the Northman as she goes up to shoot the ball. Coming to the line now is they're going to take it to the line.
Fouls on Alyssa Van Worden. They took it to the line. Katie Plasek is at the line right now. That's Alyssa's first foul, team's 4th of this half.
And Plasek makes an easy rebound. An easy free throw.
Right now, I think Megan, they shouldn't have her guarding the point guard. She's guarding Kreppel. I think her and Liz Frazier should switch players. We need Megan down low. That's one of her big parts is being able to block and taking up space.
Second shot, again, nothing but net. So it's 11-5 now as the Northmen have the ball. At the top of the key, that's Van Worden over on the left-hand side. Passes her the right-hand side to Fraser. Fraser inside to Tompkins. She's triple team. Everybody on the left side's open, so they get the ball over there. And now into Larson. Her shot up and missed, and it's tied up, or do they call the foul on Tompkins?
Falls on Megan Tompkins. That's her second.
She's reaching around Plasek, trying to get the ball away from her, but gets called for the foul, so the Titans have the ball out of bounds under their own basket, and Plasek's going to bring the ball in. Comes in now to Belinsky, who takes it up and across the timeline. And over to Plasek out on top. Plasek drives down the lane, gets to the baseline, but the ball comes out of her hands, and it is picked up by Stinger and given to Van Worden. Van Worden brings it up the middle of the court, gets it to Stinger on the right-hand side. Her shot up and off the rim. Fraser outside, dribbles in, and puts in a nice hook. 13-5 Northman, 2:21 remaining in the first half. And Kreppel with the ball on the outside, over to the right. Nice closely played game, but the Northmen, it looks like a closely played game on the floor, but Northman with a nice lead. Shot over to gets over to the left-hand side. Now inside to Fashbaugh. She falls down on the floor, and it's picked up by the Northmen. Northmen have Fraser bringing the ball up, taking her time out midcourt. 1:55 remaining in the first half. 13-5 Northmen. She passes it into Stinger, passes it over to the right wing to Lewis, and her shot misses, and it's rebounded by the Titans. Kreppel bringing it out and across the middle over to the left-hand side. And back out on top as they're unable so far to get inside. Now they pass it to Allison on the left. Her shot goes up and it's rebounded by Lewis. Lewis quickly up the floor on the right-hand side, all across the other side to Fraser. Fraser brings it in the middle to Van Worden, who shoots. And three-pointer, but it's off the top of the backboard. Northman get the rebound, and timeout called by Coach D as the Northmen looking for a way to get the ball inside. So
we're taking a lot of outside shots, and they're not good shots. They're not pretty shots. They're overshooting the basket. They're hitting the top of the backboard. I'm surprised that last shot they didn't call violation. But we really just need to be careful. We need to be patient on offense, and we're playing good defense right now. they don't know what to do, but just make sure we have good matchups, and that's all we can do right now. Let's make sure we're rebounding, and I think we're settling for just dribbling the ball up the court. I think if people ran their lanes, Liz Frazier or Alyssa Van Worden, calling for the ball right away, so we know that they can push the ball up confidently up the court. So,
unfortunately, the defense is the thing that doesn't go away. So the Northmen are relying on that now while they're waiting for their offense to come along. But it's time for the offense to come back.
Megan Tompkins, she has 2 fouls right now. There's a minute 12. She's going to be careful out there, but I don't think this is the type of situation where you would pull her out yet. When she picks up her third, going into the second half with 2 fouls is pretty good. There's a minute 12. I think we just need those extra points with her and Kelsey.
So we come back into play now. Kelsey Ants with the ball at the baseline. Pass it out on top to Skolten. Skolten across the top to Van Worden. And Van Worden back to Fraser on the right-hand side, over to Lewis on the left. Into Ants. Dribbles into the middle, stops, picks it up, throws it to Skolten. Back out on top to Fraser. As they're moving a little bit more now, passing it around, but still nobody crossing, and now they start crossing into the lane. Skolten with the ball on the left side, goes on the baseline and backs it back out to Fraser. Fraser across to Ants. Ants takes it in but backs it out. 39 seconds remaining in the half. Nice pass inside and back to Ants. Ants puts a 3 up, misses everything, and the ball comes down to Ellison for the Titans. So some motion, but nothing really that organized.
No shots are falling right now. I think backside's open, when they're going across just to get to the other side. If they would just turn around, it's open.
Ball out on top for West. Passing around the outside. They get it inside nicely to Placek. Her shot goes up and misses, but they get the rebound. Put the rebound up. Placek gets another rebound. Misses. Ooh, and Ants with the ball, but they came down on top of her, knocked it out of her hands. They didn't call that, though. And getting up off the floor is Katie Placek. She looks fine, but
a little dramatic. It wasn't a hurt fall. It was more of disappointment. I'm going to get up dramatically.
All right. Well, the half comes to an end, and the score at the end of the first half is Petoskey 13 and the Traverse City West Titans 5. And we'll be back to talk about that low-scoring first half in just a minute on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Things have perked up in downtown Alanson with the all-new R&R Cabin Restaurant. Chef Randy Cole and his partner Ruth invite you to stop in for a jumpstart breakfast or a delicious lunch of gourmet sandwiches and homemade soups. This Friday, try R&R Cabin's Friday night fish fry starting at 4 o'clock. Fill up on a great meal and top it off with a cup of freshly brewed coffee and one of many homemade desserts. Now open, try the all-new R&R Cabin, located in downtown Alanson. Call for today's special at 231-203-2012.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm an unwinder. I'm about to go unwind for 4 days at a spa. The last thing I want to do is deal with my luggage, so I'm going to leave it up to logistics.
Unwinders love logistics. With our luggage services, just drop your luggage off at the UPS store, and your bags will be sent right to your destination. No waiting in line to check bags, no waiting at baggage claim. All you have to do is unwind. To find a location near you, visit theupsstore.com. The UPS store locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours vary by location.
Welcome to the UPS Store Petoskey Halftime Show. Back here at Traverse City West after a pretty slow first half.
Very slow.
Score only 13-5. The Northmen got 6 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter, but it was worse on the west side. They got 2 points in the first quarter and only 3 points in the second quarter. Adds up to a total of 13-5. Are the Northmen having trouble with the Traverse City defense, or are they just not playing well?
A little bit of both. Their defense is definitely the only points we have gotten are basically fast breaks and a free throw. So, Alyssa Van Worden had a nice elbow shot earlier in the game, but other than that, it's just we're not finding people. People aren't aware that they're open. Their backs are turned when they're open. It's when they're going away from the ball and trying to set a new screen. That is the time they're open. It's not on a back screen. It's not on the roll. It's when they're going away because their players, more focused on the ball. They just need to turn around, it's backdooring them. And hopefully they can figure that out. I don't know if the coaches saw that, but there's probably about 6 times I can name off where if they would just look, there's 3 people behind. When Tompkins is in the game, there's 3 people behind her in the post to make sure she cannot shoot. Well, then someone is open. 2 people are wide open, and they're usually in the backside. So we just need to find people the ball. And then we're playing good defense, but we just got to keep that up and push the ball up the court. We have not, when we get the rebound, we got steals and fast breaks, but we haven't pushed the ball up the court on a 3-on-2.
I would think Coach D happy to be in the locker room right now trying to sort this out. And lucky to be ahead, happy to be ahead 13-5 with his team really not firing at all on offense.
And looking at the Titans' points, 3 of their points came from free throws. So that shows you that is excellent defense right there. It's 3 points came from free throws, and they got 1 basket, 1 layup. So, great defense by the Northmen. They have to keep that up, obviously, but they need to now find the offense. When you're playing against 2 defensive teams, you're going to get low-scoring games like this. But
then somebody has one streak and goes out and gets 10 points, and that's the game,
And we saw our little 6-point streak with Kelsey and Katie, and I think it was Frazier. All had nice layups, and then Alyssa added that next one. So we're pretty consistent right now, scoring 6 points a quarter, 7 in one of the quarters. We just got to make sure shots fall. Megan, they're overplaying Megan. She hasn't scored once this game, but give it to her. She'll find someone. She'll put it up. She's, let her drive it. She's totally capable of it. And I think also Megan's out of place right now with matching up. Guarding Kreppel, their main point guard, is not where she needs to be. She needs to be in the paint taking.
So why do you think they have her guarding Kreppel?
I think it was just, she subbed and, Liz Frazier was guarding someone else, and they just didn't take her out. So it was
a switch situation.
It was kind of a switch situation. That's kind of tricky to say.
Yes.
But, they just got to realize that Megan can't be outside the 3-point arc. She needs to be somewhere in the paint. And if, I understand you can't put someone like Jamie Larson or Kelsey Yance out there because you need them down low to guard those big post players and take up space down there. But we can't afford a 6'3" player outside the arc.
Right. Certainly not outside the arc. I mean, Megan could come out to, say, the free throw line, post up there for a little bit, but then work her way back down inside. All right. Not that it's going to take you very much time, but there was a little bit of scoring in the first half. Who got those points?
For the Titans, it's Katie Plasik. Kreppel has 1, and Ellison has 2. For the Northmen, we have Frazier with 2. Kelsey Yance with 7, Katie Lewis with 2, and Alyssa Van Worden with 2.
All right, well, we'll be right back with a little more of the UPS Store Petoskey halftime show in just a minute. Right now we're going to take a break on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Bob, what was that?
Hey, that was our old computer.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was old and slow, and I was getting frustrated waiting for it. I just got to go out and buy a new one, I guess.
That was a waste. Silver Dollar Business Solution makes your computers fast again. For pennies on the dollar compared to what a new computer costs, you don't even have to pack it up. They'll come to you.
If your computer is slow, unreliable, or just plain broken, call Silver Dollar Business Solutions for affordable on-site repair, tuning, and upgrades. Silver Dollar Business Solutions can resolve most problems in one convenient appointment and works for 100% customer satisfaction. Call 231-758-2851 to make your appointment. Mention this ad and get 20% off your first visit.
I guess that dynamite wasn't such a good idea after all.
231-758-2851. Silver Dollar brings value to you.
My name is Susan, and I run my own consulting firm, which really means I'm the consummate multitasker. I'm the accounting department, the marketing department, the mailroom. So how do I get it all done? Logistics.
I'm Bob from the UPS store. Multitaskers like Susan send their presentations to us online, and we print them, bind them, and make handouts. We also handle their packing and shipping. And with one of our mailboxes, we can sign for packages, even send text alerts when they arrive.
Thanks to logistics, I can do more than ever. And I didn't think that was possible.
Multitaskers love logistics. That's why they love the UPS store and all the things they do. To find a location near you, visit the upsstore.com today. Participation, prices, and hours vary by location. See Center for details.
Your Petoskey UPS store is your certified packing expert. Locally owned and operated and located in the Mitchell Street Plaza near Radio Shack. Mention that you heard this ad and you'll get a 10% discount on in-store custom packaging.
Welcome back to the UPS Store Petoskey Halftime Show. We are in Traverse City West. Halftime of the game between the Petoskey Northmen and the Traverse City West Titans. The halftime score, only 13-5, but it's in the right direction in favor of the Northmen. And Caitlin and I had a lot of fun making that commercial for our buddy Jason there for his company. And even more fun was watching Caitlin during halftime as that commercial came on the air. And she's sitting here cringing. You did a great job, Caitlin. Sounds good.
New topic. This is a basketball game, not some dollar solutions or...
Anyway, teams are back out on the court, and something's got to give this half. We can't. Even though we're ahead, 13-5, that's not much of a margin. And if one team starts scoring in the second half, things can get close so quickly.
I always look at by baskets. 4 baskets. They have to have 4 good plays. That could take 4 of our mistakes for them to be caught up with us. And we definitely need to find our offensive game and keep up our defensive game. Obviously, we're doing great because 3 of their points from free throws. We only given up 1 basket, but definitely keep up the defense and find the offense. We have our 5 starters in here, so hopefully they can give us a nice run.
All right, and that concludes the UPS Store Petoskey Halftime Show for tonight. We're back to live action. Here's the second half is underway, and it is West with the ball in the forecourt there. They've got it, shooting it from the free throw line, and putting it in is Kimmy Belinsky. So 2 points right away as they double their floor scoring.
Look how fast they move the ball. We don't... Running and moving the ball, we don't have that quickness. We have never had that quickness, and we need to use that.
Ball inside to Tompkins, now back out on top to Lewis. Lewis's shot off the rim, rebounded by West, and they bring it up the court. Now we'll see if they can keep that speed up this time down the floor. Ball's over on the right-hand side now. Fashball with it. Looking around, pivot. She's got Tompkins closely guarding her, and they pass it inside. Back out on top now to Fashball. Driving down the lane, nothing happening there, so they bring it back outside. It's Plasek with the ball. Back out on top now, and still looking for some way to get inside. It's Traverse City passes the ball around the outside. West now has it out on top. They try driving in, but they're blocked out by Lewis, and it is now Kalbfleisch with the ball on the outside. Looks in, finds Plasek. Her shot goes up, and it's short, rebounded by Ants. And now the Northmen turn, bringing the ball up the court over there on the right-hand side to Lewis. Lewis gets to the baseline, brings it back to Ants on the right side, to Tompkins in the middle, over to Fraser, back to Lewis. So Lewis now sets up on the left-hand side. She's being guarded by Kalbfleisch. Passes it out on top to Tompkins, who's standing on the three-point line out in the top. She gives it to Ants. Ants moves towards the middle, passes it back to Fraser. Fraser on the outside now. Van Woerden with it. All this play outside the three-point arc. So
we're not doing anything right now. We're standing. We really need to just move.
Okay, Ants into Tompkins, but she passes it back outside to Fraser on top. Goes inside, and Tompkins takes it off the hands of Titan, but they call a foul.
They are definitely calling a lot on Megan Tompkins. She didn't reach over anybody. It was in her area, but she didn't have anybody to touch. So that's Megan Tompkins' third foul. So
I think it just looked like it was going to be a foul. They kind of called it because most people can't reach that way and not touch the other player, but Megan did. Anyway, outside now it is Belinsky for the Titans, who are now nearing the lead a little bit at 7-13. And
they called a foul on Amanda Stinger. Just draw contact, trying to front the post. You know, you got to be careful with that. But, you know, at the same time, they're both going after the ball. It wasn't the best pass. Amanda was in good position. And
Carl Fleisch brings the ball in now on the baseline. Falling down. Now the ball comes up front court.
Oh, my gosh.
And they call that a charge.
On Amanda Stinger, that's her second, team's third. We really got to be careful. These refs are calling every single thing.
She was in the lane, moving towards the basket, and boy, look the other way to me. But those are the toughest things to call, the charge block situation. And so Titans have the ball back now, 13-7. They have it just across the timeline, getting it down the right-hand side. It's Fashbaugh. Northman have to respond to this little bit of a setback right now, as Belinsky has the ball out on top, being guarded by Lewis. They get it down to the baseline, and they put it up, and a foul called again on Stinger.
Fouls on Stinger. Is that her third? That's her third.
Yeah, right.
Fourth. You know, we have Hannah Skolton coming in right now. Kimmy Belinsky shooting 2. And we just can't afford stuff like this, you know, to have a 1-and-1, only be up by 6 points right now, possibly West's.
And the first shot comes off and off the rim. She's got a second shot coming. It was a shooting foul, so, you know, in the act of shooting foul, so she's got a second one. Not much contact on that underneath the basket, but that's how it is. Got to learn to play with the game as it's being called.
We are playing at West.
Yes, we are, and that shot goes in. So now it's 13-8 with 5:10 remaining in the third quarter. And Van Worden across the timeline. She drives down the middle. She's going to drop it off to Fraser, but gets out of her hands.
Sorry. It seems like, you know, this kind of ticking me off because we just got 4 fouls called on us in less than a minute and a half. It's just every little bit of contact, and I'm surprised they didn't call that a foul. But I'm not complaining. We can't control the. Yes, I am, but we can't control the rest.
Well, Coach D calls a timeout, settle his team down, and maybe you know, obviously they have to be aware of the reality they're facing out there on the court, and you know, it's going to encourage them a little bit, tell them to be a little careful about the way things are being called, but not lose their aggressiveness and get back and play offense. Northman with the ball now as Lewis is ready to bring it in from the near sideline. Brings it into Van Worden. Van Worden standing out there pretty much at half court. Finds Fraser on the right-hand side. They're working it in. Now they get it to Ants, who's still outside the 3 line. To Skolton inside. She backs out with it. Looks around. Brings it out on top. Dribbling. Passes it inside to Ants, who's cutting towards the basket. She's quadruple team. Passes it out to Fraser now from the outside. Van Worden, her shot off the rim, brought down by Plasek up the right-hand side now. They're trailing 13-8. Northman up, 4:27 remaining in the third quarter. Out on top it is Belinsky. They get it inside underneath, wide open. Nice pass across to Fashbaugh, and it's now 13-10. Northman have to settle down as Van Worden brings the ball up for the Northmen. On the into the middle to Ants, and they call her for traveling.
Where? Okay. You know, right now it's at 10-13. We're down by 3. We're running a 1-3-1, it looks like, and you know, we really just need to.
Ball comes up to the forecourt now, driving towards the lane.
Oh my God!
Another foul called now on the Northmen.
This is
I think on Ants.
This is
sure.
That's Kelsey. This is our 5th foul. This is Traverse City has 0 fouls.
This kind of reminds me of a playoff game in Marquette.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. 2 years ago.
Hey! I was on that. I remember it. This is just, you know, defense is defense. You know, these are both good defensive teams. All of a sudden, Petoskey starting foul. Now it's a little bit ridiculous for what they're calling.
Yeah, and it was pretty much the same defense in the first half.
And what they were letting go, you know, and now you're going to call it on us. So, you know, you're telling these girls to play this type of defense. They know what the limits are, you know, on both ends.
Inbound's pass knocked out of bounds again, so brought back in by West. West along the baseline, knocked out by Fraser, and West still has the ball out of bounds. It is Plasek standing out of bounds there, ready to pass the ball in. Northman up by 3 with 3:48 remaining in the third quarter. Ball comes out on top. It's Belinsky out there with it, breaks around to the right-hand side, passes it in on the left, but they bring it back out on top to Kaufleisch.
Oh,
and
my
now,
gosh. Katie Lewis, I guess, with a foul.
I didn't see any contact until after the whistle.
You know what? I'm going to send this DVD to... It's just one ref that's calling all the fouls. Just one ref. It's not any of the other two guys. He has called all 6 fouls this half. Yes, we're going to be in shooting foul. There's 16 fouls right now.
West brings the ball in all the way back out on top. Over on the right-hand side now to Belinsky. Belinsky out on top being guarded by Skolton. And gets it over to the right-hand side now to Fashbaugh. Fashbaugh across the top, back out on top. Back out on top to Belinsky. Belinsky, they're still passing around way outside the three-point arc. It's taken away now by Lewis, who's not called for a foul. Waits up for her team to get up the court behind her, and they now pass it back out on top and set up. Skolton with the ball. She shoots a 3 off the rim.
We are settling for these three-point shots, and right now we can't. We're very inconsistent. No one has made a three-pointer all game. We really need to just drive it in the paint.
Traverse City with the ball on the left-hand side, taken away, going quickly up the floor.
Where's the foul? I'm sorry. Great job, Liz Frazier, but there was definitely more contact in that play than any of the other plays combined.
Frazier puts the ball in. It's 15-10 now, Northman. Titans with the ball across the timeline to Plasek in the middle, puts it up over Ants, and oh my goodness. They get the ball underneath, they rebound. I think it's Van Worden who goes up.
That was a jump ball.
And they call it a foul. There was no contact except for the ball.
They called it on Katie Lewis, and Katie Lewis wasn't even down there.
Is that the same official again? This guy?
You know,
right
it's these guys are working. We have Katie Lewis with 3 fouls, Amanda Stinger with 3 fouls, and Megan Tompkins.
Now the official coming over and talking to Coach D.
I want to talk to this. I have some things to say to him.
In any event, Northland's still up by 5. Let's keep our heads in the game here as
with 7 fouls. With
Bouger on the line shooting for the Titans. Her shot goes up and in. 2:55 remaining, now 15-11. She's got another shot coming.
We have 17 fouls right now. Traverse City has none. You know, this, I don't like to, this ticks me off.
Shot off the rim to Van Worden. Van Worden brings the ball up. Northman leading by 4 as they get the ball across the timeline. Van Worden drives in, backs back out on top. Passes the ball. Nice snag by Fraser as that pass was a little tall for her. She got it over to Larson, and now back out on top. Over the left, now back down on the baseline to Larson. Larson back out on top to Fraser. Fraser looking around, spots Skolton over on the right-hand side and back on top to Fraser. Fraser looking around now, goes to Ants on the left-hand side. Trying to signal her players to start moving. She now drives in, passes it back out to Larson on the right side. Ooh, nice pass around and back inside to Ants.
Yes.
She puts the ball up. Good run play.
Right underneath the basket. Kelsey Ants is doing a great job. We need to keep this up right now.
Nice passing on that play by the Northland. And now in the backcourt, Titans finally get the ball across the line. It is Keppel who drives in the middle, and foul called as she gets into the lane. And it's called on Ants.
Kelsey Ants. That's her 3rd, team's 8th. We're already in bonus with 1:31 left in the third quarter. We have Megan Tompkins going back in. Kreppel is at the line. West, I don't know if the ref kind of paid the refs to call some fouls on our best players, our starting 5. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little ticked. I'm really ticked right now. You know, this is a point, if I was in the game, I would push a girl and say, now call a foul. Like, okay, that's a foul. I'm drawing contact.
Okay, now, it's one thing for you and me to be ticked.
I'm sorry.
Let's say it's one thing for you to be ticked, sitting out here on the sidelines, like all the fans in the stands. On the floor, what do the players have to do? I mean, they can't just get ticked off about this. They have to stay under control.
I'm allowed to be ticked off. You know, I want people to do that with the game because obviously you want to try buttering up to the refs and being nice to them. But they really just got to compose themselves. You know, they can't control what the ref's going to call. They control, you know, making sure their feet.
And with all this been happening, they're still sitting on a 6-point lead.
They're sitting on a 6-point lead. And, you know, if they play how they are, and, you know, you can sit there and say, well, you know, watch the game. Did you see the refs? You can blame that type of stuff. Like today, if they're, you know, if they're not fouling, yes, that last foul was a foul.
Kreppel shot off the rim, rebounded by the Northmen. It's Van Worden in the forecourt. Now it is Skolten over on the left-hand side. Passes it into Tompkins underneath. Back to Van Worden on the right-hand side. Her shot up, rolls around, and goes in.
Let's see if we get another foul called on Megan Tompkins.
19-11 now, Northland up by 8. 1 minute left in the third quarter. Traverse City with the ball out on top. They get it down to the right-hand side to Ellison. Ellison inside, they take it up, and Van Worden doesn't even jump to block that shot, standing on the floor. Comes down, though, and they get the rebound, and now Van Worden bringing it across. So being a little more careful about potential foul trouble. But Van Worden back out on top to Tompkins, who's outside the three-point line. Skolten shoots.
There we go.
And she makes the three.
Thank you, Hannah Skolten. That was huge.
But waiting for Skolten. They're waiting for Skolten to start putting those in.
You know, that was a huge margin, you know, to be 11 to 19. And now it's 11 to 22. You know, just to have out of the same, you know, digit. I can't even think what to say, but get out of the 10s and now into the 20s. You know, on the scoreboard, it's 11-22. We are doubled their score, and the rest can call what they want.
And it was just
that's not going to stop our offense.
It was just what I thought was going to happen. You know, in a game that's really low scoring, somebody catches fire and pulls out ahead. And fortunately, so far, the last 2-3 minutes, it's been the Northmen giving themselves an 11-point lead, 22 to 11,
we have only
with 33.9 remaining in the third quarter.
We have only gone to the free throw line once. And I believe we should have been to the free throw line at least 2 or 3 more times. We look over here, and they've been to the free throw line 5 times. So, you know, it says a lot right now that, you know, we do have 18 fouls. They have 0. Obviously, there's something going on because in the first half, we're playing just like we were the first half. We were playing no different defensively, and it's just the amount of times they've gone to the line.
Okay, the last half a minute of the third quarter underway now as the Titans bring the ball up the floor. It's in the hands of Kylie Kreppel now, away out on top. She passes over to the left-hand side, still pretty far outside, and they try to drive down the middle, but they run into Tompkins, so they bring it back out. Back out on top now over the right-hand side. Driving in, finds an opening, gets around, but misses a shot, and Van Worden with the ball for the Northmen.
Look it up. Alyssa has to look up. Great job.
Ooh, she does. She goes to the line, she puts it in, and the first foul of the half.
Thank you. Thank you for calling a foul on West, finally.
Called on Breithout, I believe. And well, maybe I thought it was 21, but I don't see her in the game. So
it was 31.
Maybe it was Bujalis.
Bujalis,
yep.
Alyssa Van Worden's shot is good.
And 25-11 now. And long shot as time runs out in the third quarter. And we'll be back to see what happens in the fourth quarter of this game that keeps changing right here on WJML News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210 and worldwide on WJML.com.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm an unwinder. I'm about to go unwind for 4 days at a spa. The last thing I want to do is deal with my luggage, so I'm going to leave it up to logistics.
Unwinders love logistics. With our luggage services, just drop your luggage off at the UPS store, and your bags will be sent right to your destination. No waiting in line to check bags, no waiting at baggage claim. All you have to do is unwind. To find a location near you, visit theupsstore.com. The UPS store locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours vary by location.
Caitlin Crittenden takes a drink of water over the quarter break now, and I think we're ready
practicing my breathing exercises.
Get ready to get back into this action. Pretty exciting in the third quarter. Get the score up to 25-11 as the fouls start hammering down on the Northmen. They straighten things out, and that wakes up their offense. And Northmen now with quite a lead, and they're going to get the ball to start the fourth quarter.
I would just like to name off some stats. 3 fouls we have with 4 players is Katie Lewis, Kelsey Yance, Amanda Singer, and Megan Tompkins. Imagine that.
Van Worden with the ball now for the Northmen over to Fraser. Still out on top to Van Worden as they're looking around. They find Yance on the right-hand side, Tompkins in the middle. Over to the left-hand side to Fraser, and she's tied up. And
I'm surprised that wasn't a foul. It looked like a little bit of a wraparound.
Whole lot of awes from behind us in the stands when no foul was called on that play.
I'm going to have a few words with that ref after this game.
He's in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Back in live action now. The Titans with the ball. Trailing 25-11. They got it out on top. It is Belinsky with the ball down to the right-hand side to Fashbaugh. Fashbaugh back out on top to Ellison. Nothing doing inside for West. Ooh, and Van Worden knocked to the floor. Nothing called, so shot comes in from the left-hand side, misses. A rebound by Traverse City, misses. Pass gets outlet to Megan Tompkins. Crittenden gets to watch her run up the court. And pass now over to the left-hand side for Skolden. Skolden over the right-hand side, back out on top to Van Worden. And now back to Fraser as they settle the offense down. That's Caitlin's favorite play is Tompkins bringing the ball up the court. In case you're not a everyday listener to our broadcast. Van Worden with the ball now. They're still looking around for a way to get it on the inside. And that is Skolten out on top and along with Larson. Other than that, it's starters on the inside, Van Worden, Tompkins, and Ants. Nope.
Skolten and Larson.
Right. Inside to Tompkins underneath the basket. She puts it in and she's fouled.
That is Megan Tompkins' first basket of the game. So, that shows how much defense they're putting on her. We have Katie Placek coming in for Allison and Katie Lewis coming in for Skolten.
Yeah, the mistake they made, that was Bujla guarding her, but standing behind her right underneath the basket. There was no way she was going to block.
Well, it's hard, playing against someone 6'3", you can't really front them because Megan can post them up and they can give her a lead pass. She can't play behind them because they can just sew it over her. So
especially that close to the baseline, you got to get out in front of them and try something. Anyway, comes out Northmen are leading 27-11. Out on top, it's Fashbaugh with the ball. Back and forth now over to Belinsky. Belinsky down the left-hand side. Right-hand side to Kreppel. Kreppel gets it underneath, and that is Placek in there, and knocked out of her hands and out of bounds.
We have Kelsey Ants coming in. It looks like she's coming in for Jamie Larson. So we have our starting 5 out there. Hopefully the refs don't start calling fouls again.
Ball comes in now to Kreppel. She passes it out on top to Kauflesch. She runs into a double team, backs it back out again. Now driving down the lane is Belinsky, but she's stopped by the defense. They bring it back out, give it to Kauflesch. Her shot's up and off the rim. Ants with the ball over to the left inside to Lewis. Lewis spins around, brings it down to the baseline, passes it out to Ants, is wide open on top. Gets it in to Fraser. They collide with Fraser, and it looks like they're going to call a foul on Traverse City.
Fouls on player Jessica Kauflesch. That is her first, team's third of this half. I like that ref. He's the only one that calls fouls for us. We have Paris Wagner coming in. Northmen are taking the ball out of bounds under our basket.
Wagner, pretty tall girl out there too, comes into Ants. Ants goes to the baseline, puts it up, and she's fouled as she shoots it up, and they call that too. So Kelsey Ants going on the line, and again, that same referee who called the foul on the other team called another one on there. So
that
they're trying to even it up. That was straight up a foul, no question about it. Ants shoots the ball up, she puts it in. That makes it 28-11 now for the Northland. Foul on Placek. 5:22 remaining in the ball game. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
And shoots, and the ball goes off the rim, rebounded by the Titans, and they bring it across midcourt. Have it over on the right-hand side, pass it in the middle. Nice play.
Nice hustle play by Liz Frazier. She's doing a great job. She's always there, you know, nicking that pass.
Pass comes into the lane, and Fraser bats it out of the hands of the Traverse City player, knocks it out of bounds. So Traverse City bringing the ball in now from the baseline. Out on top to Cobb Flesh. Down to the right-hand side of the baseline. They bring it in the middle, pass it, and it gets open to Kylie Kreppel underneath the basket. She puts it up. Ants with the rebound, gets it up to Tompkins. Tompkins back to Ants in the middle, and she's called for a travel by the bad ref on the far side of the court.
No, that's actually a mediocre ref. It's the bald. It's that red-faced, white-hair guy.
This guy down here. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was that guy over there.
No,
like. All right.
Both of these guys I don't like.
Anyway,
sorry.
Ball turned over to the Titans, and they bring the ball up court, trailing 28-13. They get underneath the basket, put it up, miss it, and Tompkins gets the rebound. She's getting active underneath the basket on both ends. Coming up the floor now is Lewis. Lewis in the middle to Tompkins. She pivots.
Yes.
Puts it in. Goes right around the defense.
This is what we needed to do from the beginning, is find Megan. She's going to be open somehow. She's 6'3". You can't teach height.
But you can't teach height how to play.
Yes.
And Megan's been learning that and demonstrating it quite well this year. Ball out on top to Kreppel. Kreppel drives down the lane, runs into Tompkins, and makes it to the backboard, but Ants rebounds it and brings it up the court. The Titans with only 13 points. Remember that the Northmen's lowest amount given up for the season is 16 to Sheboygan this week. Ball out on top to Ants. Ants drives in. It's knocked out of her hands, picked up by Van Worden. Van Worden drives down the middle, finds an opening, puts it up, rebounded by Ants. She backs up and pops it in. Northman scoring a bunch in a row now as they get a great streak going. Northman 32-13 as the Titans bringing the ball up the court. Getting ready to check in for the Northman, Natalie Weaver. Over on the left-hand side, Ants takes the ball away from the defender, passes it forward to Lewis. Lewis back to Ants, waiting for her team to get up the field. Finds Tompkins underneath.
Yeah,
Tompkins turns around, puts it in. So she didn't score the first half.
Yeah, she didn't score till the fourth quarter.
And she's got quite a few now. 34-13, 3:10 remaining. Kreppel with the ball on the left side. They get it underneath, but Lewis is in there to block it, and Ants takes the ball away. Ants up the court. There's three Northmen back. Ants goes to the rim. It was rebounded by Van Worden. She misses. Lewis underneath, Fraser rather, underneath. Saves it in, but it's off Ants and out of bounds.
You know, you see the Northmen pushing the ball up the court. You know, I still think they're missing some opportunities. It looks like Traverse City West called a timeout right now.
That time they got the ball up. They had numbers inside. They just couldn't put the shot in.
You had the person with the ball pushing it up, but nobody was running. And by that time, West was getting back. So it's all about pushing the ball up. It looks like we have Natalie Weaver coming in. You know, this is quite the difference we've seen. 34-13. And right now, the only person that got a point is Kreppel during the fourth quarter, and we've already have 9 points. So this is, you know, great job by the Northmen to finally start running the ball, you know, filling in the offense we've always had this whole entire game. We just weren't touching up against it.
And this is a great example of the importance of defense. When offense comes and goes, good defense you can usually hang on to, and a great example of that tonight where the Northman defense kept them in the game while they weren't scoring, and now that the scoring's coming, Northman extending their lead.
You know, this is a huge game for the Northmen. You know, it's a conference game, but this is a team they're probably going to see in districts, in the first round of districts, so or second round, but they're definitely in Class A. We definitely run into them. You know, if both teams match up. We have Natalie Weaver playing on Kreppel.
Play starts again now for Traverse City. They get the ball up to the forecourt, whistle blows, and they stop play, and it's timeout called by Traverse City.
You know, I wonder what they're trying to do right here. I don't know if they were trying to execute a play and did it wrong, so, you know, they called them out, but it looks the coach is just talking to them.
Well, I think he wants to keep his team going. They're down by 21 with 2:44 remaining. He wants them to keep working. They're still in this race for the conference championship, a lot less so right now. But
thank the Lord.
They've got a couple of important games coming up after this one, so wants to keep them sharp. And then, as you say, we're only a couple of weeks away from the districts. By the way, we start the districts against Marquette in Petoskey on the 25th. We'll be there. Man, you should come out and watch your team play. The game starts at 6 o'clock, so we'll be on the air at 5:30.
It's kind of funny because I took my headphones off for a second because the coach walked over to the scores table and saying, "Are those 2 girls in the game?" You know, making sure, like, which ones? He's like 12 and 4. And so, you know, obviously they're going to try making sure that playing better defense on them or trying to get them tied up in this play that they're trying to run.
Well, they get the ball now. Let's see if what they talked about makes any difference. The ball comes inbounds to Thomas, and now it's out on top, back over on the right-hand side to Kreppel. Kreppel out on the top now to Ellison.
I don't understand. They are running, like, way outside, like if our 4 corners play when we're trying to stop.
Yeah, they've almost got their heels on the timeline.
I don't understand. Yeah, Tompkins!
Steals it. And
I love her.
They're passing back and forth at the timeline. Tompkins came in and took it, and it was a short dash to the hoop. She got there first and put in the layup.
See, you know, I would just play in the paint. You know, why they're out so far, I don't understand. Just let them hold the ball.
They're setting themselves up for the same thing.
They're the one running down their clock.
Yep, and passing it back and forth outside. Not trying to get down underneath at all. They've got one person cutting on the baseline.
Maybe they're working on a practice play. I don't know. Maybe this is just like practice.
But nothing happening underneath. They're down to the baseline now, back out to half court. Knocked away by Ants, but
they just called the foul on Kelsey Ants, which it's so delayed.
I was going to say she had knocked it out of her hand onto the sideline or something.
That's Kelsey's 4th. You know, nothing to worry about. It's a minute 43 left in the game. We're subbing already. We have Allie Will coming in for Alyssa Van Worden. Alyssa Van Worden had a great night tonight. You know what?
She gets a big hand coming off.
She played hard on Placek.
Bench. Yep, and Weaver in there too. Here comes the free throw attempt by Havens, and it's in. That is Carissa Havens.
I really want them to hold this team under 14, possibly 15 if this one goes in.
It's 14 now. This one goes off the rim, rebounded by Tompkins. Minute 41 remaining. This would now be the fewest points allowed all season.
Knock on wood.
But they only need 2 to get it up to the existing lowest. Gets the ball now to Ants on the left-hand side. One of the only 2 starters remaining in the game.
We're not even, you know, we're trying to run down the clock, and we're not even that outside where they are. We're actually moving.
Yeah,
I don't understand why.
We're right about the 3-point arc.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it was very dumb on Traverse City West to run that last
Tompkins at
play.
the high post, passes it out to Ants underneath. Ants puts the ball behind her, drops it for the first time I've seen that. Usually she's good with the ball behind her back. It was picked up and tied up by Placek. And
smart move by Coach D, calling a timeout while we still had possession of the ball.
Called that timeout before the tie-up called. So
minute 3 left.
36-14.
Traverse City West about to cry, holding the tissues, you know, in their hands. Second time losing to Petoskey. I could keep going.
You're cruel.
You know what? The refs put me in a bad mood right now, so I have no hard feelings. Oh my gosh, people could be listening to this.
and they're hearing what you really think, you know, and that's important. You want to tell people what you really think.
My mom tells me I should have a filter. It's not like I say anything bad on the air, but just in general, I need a better filter.
Well, I don't want to disagree with your mom, so we'll leave it right at that.
I think I'm good on the air. You know, I don't think I need one because people want to hear my opinion. I have lots of opinions.
That's what you're here for, and we've got
the right opinion too.
We've got a minute more of Kaylin's opinions to go here as play starts. Tompkins with the ball on the left-hand side, pass it back out on top to Abram Craig. Abram Craig over the right-hand side to Weaver, and Weaver to Tompkins on the far right side, back out on top, and over now to Allie Will, and down inside to Weaver. Weaver back out to Stinger. Stinger over the right-hand side to Will, and on top, Stinger shoots from just inside the 3-point arc. Ball goes out of bounds.
I'm surprised that wasn't over the back. Off
of Havens, and it's going to be a Northland ball as Stinger brings it in with just 33.6 remaining, 36-14. Pass comes into Tompkins. It's tied up by Placek, who gets one hand on the ball as Tompkins gets 2 right as the pass comes inbounds. Northman now taking it out of bounds. Weaver brings it into Abram Craig. Abram Craig to Tompkins. They're wrapping around. Aaron Tompkins tries to shake them off. They didn't call a foul, although
I'm not sure why. Megan, yes, they're on her backside, but there's 3 of them. She's not going to be able to do anything with the ball. So set it up. Might as well stall the clock.
So they bring it down the court, 36-14, 17.4. They missed the shot. This one is blocked, but a foul is called, I think, on Tompkins. She was the one who was up there. To see what the official says.
No, fouls on Asia Abram Craig. That's her first.
10 for the Northman.
And that's a good foul. Sorry. That's a good foul for Asia Abram Craig. Plasic's a good player. She just made her free throw.
And it's 15 points now. And she's bound to make this, and she does, 16. So they have now tied with Sheboygan for the lowest output against the Northman this season. And it's only 7.6 seconds remaining. I doubt they're going to touch the ball again. Tompkins with it on the right-hand side. Passes it partway into Weaver. Weaver stands there holding it, and the horn goes. And that brings the final buzzer, 36-16 Northman over the Traverse City Titans. And we will be back in just a minute to wrap this one up here on WJML. News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210. And worldwide on WJML.com.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm an unwinder. I'm about to go unwind for 4 days at a spa. The last thing I want to do is deal with my luggage, so I'm going to leave it up to logistics.
Unwinders love logistics. With our luggage services, just drop your luggage off at the UPS store, and your bags will be sent right to your destination. No waiting in line to check bags, no waiting at baggage claim. All you have to do is unwind. To find a location near you, visit theupsstore.com. The UPS store locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours vary by location.
Bob, what was that?
Hey, that was our old computer.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was old and slow, and I was getting frustrated waiting for it. I just got to go out and buy a new one, I guess.
That was a waste. Silver Dollar Business Solution makes your computers fast again. For pennies on the dollar compared to what a new computer costs, you don't even have to pack it up. They'll come to you.
If your computer is slow, unreliable, or just plain broken, call Silver Dollar Business Solutions for affordable on-site repair, tuning, and upgrades. Silver Dollar Business Solutions can resolve most problems in one convenient appointment and works for 100% customer satisfaction. Call 231-758-2851 to make your appointment. Mention this ad and get 20% off your first visit.
I guess that dynamite wasn't such a good idea after all.
231-758-2851. Silver Dollar brings value to you.
Back in Traverse City, Northman win tonight 36-16. We hear the Eye of the Tiger playing in the background, so let's turn it over to Kaylin Crenton. And who's tonight's Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger was obviously Alyssa Van Wert. She played great defense on on Katie Plasik, and Katie Plasik only had 4 points tonight. She went to line twice and made both her free throws.
Go ahead.
Am I on? Or do I have to start over?
Go ahead.
Do I have to start over?
Go ahead.
Okay, just in case, if you didn't hear me, the Eye of the Tiger Award goes to Alyssa Van Worden. She played excellent defense, let alone contribute to the offensive end. She guarded Katie Plasik, the strongest player, sophomore. Katie Plasik had 4 points, 2 in the second half and 2 in the first half, both from the free throw line. Alyssa, and I have Alyssa Van Worden. I grabbed her before she headed into the locker room. How was guarding Katie? What things did you have to do, playing against Traverse City West?
Well, they're always a very good defensive team, and Katie is a very good player. She's quick. She's good off the ball. She really likes to get it in the paint area, and she's a very good distributor, also a good shooter. So just had to play good, quick D, stay low, and, just stay strong.
So you were one of the starting 5 that didn't get a foul called on you. You had 1 foul called on you, but compared to Tompkins, Stinger, and Ans and Lewis, was that a little bit stressful? You had to be the one on the court making sure there was someone still scoring. I was getting really mad at the refs. I don't know what you were like.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's kind of crazy to see 18 fouls on our side and 0 on theirs. So.
Yeah, but one thing that was really interesting then is it didn't throw you guys off your game. It was right after that barrage of fouls that your offense really kicked into gear. And, what were you thinking out there while all that was happening?
I knew that we just had to pull it together and try to stop fouling. Like you said, they had 8. Well, we had 8 fouls and they had 0, so we kind of fired us up.
A lot of team composure out there. I want to say a few things to the ref right now. Kind of trying to scope him out in this gym. Not too happy, It's kind of like a rub it in your face, like we still beat you even though we called it.
Yeah, they called it for them. Yeah.
Well, what the Northmen had all night, the offense took a while to get going, but what you had all night was defense, and this team's been a great defensive team, especially lately. You only gave up 16 points tonight. You gave up 16 points on Tuesday to Sheboygan for your 2 lowest scoring games, lowest points allowed, and you're leading the league in points allowed, leading the league in scoring, and your next lowest scoring game was back on the 18th against the same team. You allowed them only 17 points when you played them in Petoskey. So a great job on defense. What are you doing out there that has that defense so solid and holds on to the game until the offense gets worked out?
A lot of communication, I would give credit to. We've been working a lot in practice.
Shutting down plays like Clarissa Van Warden.
Shutting down all the good players, just helping each other out. Backside's key, too. Megan Tompkins does a great job of that.
Well, you had a great game, and the fans here really, noticed that when you walked off the court. Unless you have a lot of family here, I don't know what it is, but
she does have Chuck and Jill.
Well, when you walked off the court, there was a good applause for you right behind us. I hope you heard it, and well deserved, I might say. Great game for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on this interviewing session.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for helping us out tonight, and congratulations on tonight's game. Okay, well. It was a fascinating game. I mean, it was one of those situations where the defense had to keep it together till the offense figured out what to do, and eventually they did, and we end up with a pretty big margin, a 20-point victory margin tonight. A respectable, although not overwhelming offensive output here. Finally, 36 points, and it's time to go through and see where those 36 points came from.
Hannah Skolton had 3, Tompkins had 8, Fraser had 4, Ants had 12, Lewis had 2, and Warden had 7. For the Titans, we have Plasek with 4, Kreppel with 3, Ellison with 2, Valinsky with 1, Bojalis with 1, Fashball with 2, Fauché with 2, and Havens with 1.
And it was great, speaking of Skolton, to see her get off the snide here. She put in...
that 3-pointer was probably the biggest point of the game, not just because it was the only 3-pointer of the whole entire game, but that transition from 19 to 22 just like that is huge, and that kind of started the ball rolling for us.
And Skolton started this season on this team with a reputation of being a big 3-point shooter, and she's getting the minutes this year, so we kind of were expecting to see a little more of that. Maybe this will be what puts her over the edge, gets her a little more confidence to put those 3-point shots in.
I think it's because her whole family's here. Her brother works at Traverse City, I think St. Francis, so having her mom, dad, and brother, the whole family support, trying to play well for your family when they're watching you.
Well, it's nice that she was able to do that. The Northland now sitting on top of the Big North Conference with a 9-1 conference record, 15-2 overall, and the hottest team by far in the Big North Conference. They've won 12 in a row. The closest to that win streak, second longest win streak in the conference right now is Gaylord's 2. So Northland with 12 being just the most dominant team in the conference. We've got some more basketball coming up to round out the remaining weeks of the season. Next Friday, we will be in. Actually, this is the last road game. So no more road trips.
Woo! Yes.
until the playoffs. We're going to be back in Petoskey against Ogama Heights. Early start game. The game starts at 6. We'll be on at 5:30. It's a boys-girls doubleheader and a pink uniform night, so we'll be looking forward to that. After that, the next week, we've got a non-conference game against Sault Ste. Marie on Tuesday. And back on WJML on Friday with the final game of the season against Alpena. After that, we go into the playoffs, and we'll talk more about that as time goes on. But right now, I'll tell you that the playoffs start on the 25th. That first game will be in Petoskey against Marquette. It'll be an early start, 6 o'clock start. Be on the air at 5:30. And we'll be bringing you all the games, however far we go in the playoffs. Just want to point out that if we do make it through the districts, our region is against the other, there's 3 other districts in our region. One of those districts, and the district that the winner of our districts plays first, is the Grand Haven district, and that did end our season last year. So hopefully we get back, we get a chance to play them and show those Buccaneers a little bit of Big North action. But we thank you very much for being with us tonight, and we want to thank everybody for following us along. We look forward to seeing you again soon at our next game, as I'm getting my book open here. And now with the final score, Petoskey 36 and Traverse City 16. Let me say that tonight's Petoskey Northland basketball victory was brought to you by your local Petoskey UPS store, your certified packaging expert located in the Mitchell Street Plaza near Radio Shack. Silver Dollar Business Solutions, increase your business's bottom line with value-added electronic payment services. Northern Michigan Artist Market, with art in all media by over 90 local Northern Michigan artists from Traverse City to the top of the Upper Peninsula at 445 East Mitchell Street next to the old library in Petoskey's historic Gaslight District. And as always, very special thanks to the folks without whom we would not be able to get on the air. WJML Radio, News Talk Sports 1110 and 1210, and worldwide on WJML.com. Good night, everybody.